What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 20th of June today, and today is Friday. For some reason, I don't know, I woke up slow earlier this morning, I guess, man. I thought yesterday, the 19th, I thought that was Friday, but today is Friday, the 20th. We do have one more day in this stock market week here, in this business week. We do have one more day to go, so maybe this is the day that we do get some movement, right? It makes sense we didn't move at all yesterday. It's kind of like a weekend day in the middle of the week, as weird as that is. Perhaps this will just continue. Maybe today acts as though it's a weekend day as well, but I would expect we get some kind of price action going on. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I very much do believe that regardless of what happens over the coming days, we will continue to grow. I don't care if we move up, we move down, we move sideways. We will see prices that are well above 120K and beyond. It might not be by the end of this month, unfortunately. It might be. You never know. I mean, Bitcoin can move up pretty damn fast whenever it wants to, you guys. If we see something like this from a low to a high right here, that's like not even a week right there. If we were to make that move here today, we could go all the way up to 120K easy by the end of this month, and then some, right? We could absolutely see 120K or more by the end of this month, but that's presuming that we don't move down first. I kind of do assume that we do go down. We probably do find support right around this area. I would expect just below these lows here, just above this low here, something in that area, around 100K. 102K. We're at $104,500 now. Bitcoin will likely fake people out, right? We'll get a breakout of this higher low slope that we have, and then from there likely continue upwards. If I'm wrong in that theory, if we don't get an end of month rally and instead it's an end of month dump, then we will likely go to the 382 of this overall range from a low to a high. The 382 being at about $95.8 thousand. It's very common with the 382 to wick just below it, so we could go, not just below 94K even, maybe as low as that. I wouldn't expect that we get below the lows of this range though, and we probably would find support somewhere on this like shelf right here around the 382, right where prior resistance was before, right where prior support was before, and a little bit of resistance back there, and support back over here as well, all in that same area. So it wouldn't be surprising if that's where we went. I'm wondering, actually, what's the crypto fear and greed index saying? We were at a 48 still. We haven't moved. Nobody's budging. People are still neutral, bullish, bearish, whatever. I think the majority of people are bullish, to be honest, but it's pretty neutral nonetheless. 104.5K now. That's the expectation. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and see if we can validate this stuff or get a kind of configuration going on here. 1 hour time frame. Let's see. I mean, the 1 hour, I don't like the price, just first off. I definitely think that we're going to go lower. I could be wrong, but I definitely think we're going to go lower. Looking at the RSI, rejecting the same areas, right? You're basically moving up to the same areas you were here, but with lower prices. That's not a good sign, guys. You don't have bullish divergence. No, that's not what that is. It's more of like a form of hidden bearish divergence. Rejecting the overbought zone on the stochastics. You're even building bullish momentum while providing lower highs. That's just sad. So yes, everything about this makes me think that you want to go lower. And let's look at the 1 hour. Let's look at whereas the oscillators look like they want to reject the zero. In fact, I think you already have. So you probably come down. You'll form a higher low in the oscillators. You'll get a lower low in the price. And that will be bullish divergence on the MACD, which likely, again, takes you below this low here, below 103,000. You'll see 102 to $100,000, something like that, to find support. That's my guess. What's going to happen? I'm just thinking in the terms of what's going to psych people out the most, because that's kind of how Bitcoin does it. I would assume that if we break this trend line here, this higher low trend line, a lot of people would assume that we're going below this low. That we're going to go below this low, 95K, and all that stuff is happening, right? The truly bearish people are going to assume that this is validating to the end of the bear market, all that kind of stuff, but it's going to be panic mode. I don't think that a lot of people are expecting that we find support between this low here, which that low right there is actually at about 102.7K, and this low here right there at $100,400 essentially. So I think that is the most likely area to find support, right? People are going to be waiting on this low to break, waiting on the 95 to 93K area that everybody's talking about now. And it's very possible that we go there inevitably. I mean, that is an area that a lot of people, a lot of analysts that I respect personally and bigger names in the space are talking about. It's very possible we go there. Just because they're talking about it doesn't mean we don't go there. But the fact that it's on everyone's radar makes me second guess it a little bit. What I don't hear a lot of people talking about is that $102,000 to $101,000 area. That doesn't mean that it's more likely just because nobody's talking about it. I mean, there's a reason why nobody talks about it. To be completely fair, it doesn't make a lot of sense that you'd go there. But in the context of this being a diamond top, which I think this is, I think we nailed it perfectly, you guys. We got a diamond top pattern here. It's not beautiful, but you can see, and yes, price action can go outside the diamond, but whether you want to draw it inside or outside, whatever, this is a diamond top pattern. I don't want to brag, but I'm probably a very keen, experted eye at identifying diamond top patterns. I'm actually surprised. This one's pretty ugly, and I think that's why it took me so long. But these kind of pivotal, volatile movements like this, it was really what it was the symmetrical triangle at the end here that gave it away. But what most people don't know about diamond patterns, what they fail to address is that they're known for breaking out one direction and then ripping the other direction, right? Everybody who watches this channel, I've been preaching that for the past probably like 4 days now. And it would actually get me a little bit excited to see us break down for that reason alone. On another note, the diamond top that we're addressing here, I think the top of the pattern's here actually, not that there. The top to the bottom of the pattern here, if we were to break out, the measure move itself does take us right to that area, and that is the measure move of the pattern. If you want to take the absolute high to absolute low, cool. It'll put the line a little bit lower. Whatever. But it's still in that area of like 93 to 96K and just below 95K really. So it's possible that can happen. And if it does happen, again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm not expecting this to happen. That's not why we're talking about it. If it goes down here, I'll be like, okay, I wasn't expecting this to happen, but we were prepared for it. I'm not going to act like I was right. We knew it was going here the whole time. That's not what's going to happen. I don't care to be like that. I'm not like that to begin with, but I'm not talking about it so that I can play both ends of the field or both sides of the coin here. I'm talking about it so that in case I'm wrong, I would be wrong if we went down here. Even though we're talking about it a lot, I'd be wrong. In case we do that, nobody's freaking out. Nobody's panicking. They're not buying the bearish narrative that the bull market's over and we're dead. We're probably going to bounce and see a miraculous growth from there that takes us to new all-time highs, ending at 170 to 180K by the end of this next rally. So I definitely am not worried if the price goes lower. But what I think is going to happen, what's pretty typical with these diamond tops, is a fake. It's not a fake out. It is a breakout, but then a pullback, a throwback to and through the breakout point, and then you carry out that measure move into the opposite direction, which if we do the same kind of idea, the measure move here to the upside, maybe from the breakout point, right? That would take us to about 115K. And I really wouldn't be surprised if not only did we get there, but we blast through that and continue higher. Measure moves are not requirements. You can pass them. You can fall short of them, all that kind of stuff. 104.5K now. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, the MACD does look a little bullish, and this is where we get some confliction in the 1 hour and the 4 hour. The MACD on the 4 hour does look kind of bullish. The stochastics are wrestling, having a hard time here. You are getting higher highs in the stochastics, and you're getting lower highs in the price, which is hidden bearish divergence. The RSI rejecting the 50 here is not looking good, but to be fair, rejecting the 50 and then finding support off the 40 does put you in a good position. So you're kind of neutral on the 4 hour, and I might weigh on that more than the 1 hour, but the 1 hour overall does look bearish to me. That might influence the 4 hour as well. 2 hours, 43 minutes left in this 4 hour. If we can open up this day bullish and get above these highs, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't move down at all. Maybe this is some kind of consolidation phase that we BART out of. You know what I mean? We've got this little, and maybe it's not even a BART. I don't know, but we move down like this. We do our thing, whatever, and then we move up like that. Maybe that's what we do. But I'm not anticipating that personally. Looking at the 4 hour RSI, we are below the 50. We did reject the overbought zone. We're getting oversold, overbought, oversold, very volatile, as is a diamond pattern kind of notorious for. The MACD is the one thing that's kind of throwing a wrench in my whole theory here, and then that bounce off the 40. but we're rejecting. The 1 hour looks sad. I'm sticking with the idea that we do go lower. I would expect that something below about $104,000 would cause a little bit of a sensation. You're going to hear the bears come out of the woodworks and claim that they were right. This means Bitcoin's dead. But no, it's not what's going to happen. Probably not, at least. Anything's possible. Daily time frame, daily MACD makes me bearish, but only a little bit, right? This is where, again, I think this agrees with my theory on the diamond top kind of breakout and then reversal, is that the daily MACD, you would expect it find support at the zero line. You can go a little bit through the zero. That's still support at the zero line, right? Just like if we're looking at the RSI, I mean, these are actually good examples. You're bouncing right off the oversold. That's not a good example of what I'm... Like here, you're rejecting the overbottom, but you did go through it a little bit, right? You can find support on the MACD and still go through the zero line a little bit, but I wouldn't think that this like look at all the bearish momentum that's building. You're really trying here, and you're really at a point that you'd expect to bounce. You've had bearish momentum building for a while, and truthfully, overall, it's actually decaying, right? I would think we're in a better position to bounce soon enough. This daily MACD adds to the idea that we're probably not going to go down to 95 to 93K. Still aware of it as a possibility, especially if we get a cross below the zero. But I'm not really considering it. The stochastics here, pretty damn close to the zero or to the oversold zone as well. There's been times over here where the blue line gets into the oversold zone, but the orange line, the slower oscillator, does not get into the oversold zone. So we might any day now be in an area where you might expect to find support. Maybe over the weekend. The weekend's boring. It gives this orange line a chance to catch up a little bit. Going into the week, we start to recover. I really wouldn't be surprised if going into the end of this month we still had an end of month rally. But time will tell. The RSI, I mean, overall, the daily RSI does look good. Overall, it does. Absolutely, it does. You've got a low here. You've got a double bottom here off the oversold zone. Beautiful. Getting overbought consistently. Getting a higher low, getting another higher low. You can go down a little bit and bounce off the 40. All of these indicators are very near points and areas that you would expect to find support at. So just adding to the notion that while I do expect Bitcoin to break out of this range, I don't expect it to be dramatic. A little bit lower than 103K, a little bit higher than $100,000. Probably somewhere between 102 and 101K, something around there, right? Maybe just above 102K, but lower than this low, higher than this low. You'll break out of this imaginary trend line that people will probably cling to and then claim that Bitcoin's going down to 95K as soon as we break. And then as soon as that happens, we'll rip to the upside, man. The writing's on the wall. The institutions are here, right? James Wynn, if anything, and here's my theory, right? This is just a theory. This doesn't mean it has to be true, what I'm saying here, but this is a theory. This is how my brain works, okay? James Wynn, you guys know who James Wynn is, right? James Wynn, this guy. He's been hunted, right? Whether you like him, whether you don't like him, can we all agree he's been hunted, right? Anytime he goes long, anytime he goes short, there are major whales that are out to get him. He says it's the cabal. Whether you believe that or don't believe that is not the important thing. The important thing is he's absolutely being hunted because his transactions are public. The idea, the game plan that he has out here with millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions at one point of money, of dollars, of value out there for whales to see and eat up if they want to. And they do. They come out. They're more like sharks, right? I like this picture. This is kind of funny. Not to offend any of the Christians, but I do think that that's kind of funny. My thought here is that with all of these large accounts coming together with the idea of this 95 to 93K area being a possibility, the whales might be aware that all they got to do is just push that price down, and you're going to have retail panic selling as if we're going down to 95K or lower. Panic selling their altcoins, everything, right on this slight breakout. They're all aware of this game plan. It's not that the market's going short, but it's like it's still, in comparison to James Wynn there, do you hear is it connecting dots? Am I connecting the dots here for you? It's like the plan is that people have mapped out subconsciously or consciously. It's out there for the whales to see. And so all they have to do is push it down here. That'll make people think they're being smart by selling ahead of time. The whales will buy it up, and then boom, we go up, and we've got this diamond top pattern, which again, it's very volatile. It's notorious for this exact maneuver. I don't know. It's just a theory. Maybe that's not even true, and just the price prediction will be true without that theory. I don't know. I have no way of validating that. Maybe I could validate that if I did a lot of homework. Maybe there's no way to validate it at all. I don't know. Either way, let's just keep it simple. 104.5K now. 102, probably around 102K, if not 101K, somewhere around here, above this low, below that low, right? Somewhere in this area here. And then we'll go up to end the month. We'll probably, maybe by the end of the month, we'll be at new all-time highs. If not, certainly going to July, we will be seeing new all-time highs. That'd be the expectation. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, all right? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.